He rides alone in a room of rain. Typewriter clacks like a runaway train. Whiskey breath and a shadowed name. Every story ends with someone to blame. She leans in close with a velvet sigh. Red lips curled like a whispered lie. She's the twist he never saw coming. Amused with motives, always running. Ink and smoke, love and crime. He pens the truth, one line at a time. Hard-boiled hearts and a kiss too late. Romance and ruin sealed by fate. His alter ego wears a darker coat. Talks in riddles, leaves no note. He's the voice behind the plot's descent. The ghostwriter of his own lament. She's not real, or maybe she is. A femme fatale in a world gone fizz. She sings in dreams, she bleeds in prose. And every chapter ends where no one knows. Ink and smoke, noir and flame. He writes to tame what none can name. A love too sharp, a truth too deep. Mystique Noir never sleeps. Ink and smoke, noir and flame. He writes to tame what none can name. A love too sharp, a truth too deep. Mystique Noir never sleeps. His alter ego wears a darker coat. Talks in riddles, leaves no note. He's the voice behind the plot's descent. The ghostwriter of his own lament. She's not real, or maybe she is. A femme fatale in a world gone fizz. She sings in dreams, she bleeds in prose. And every chapter ends where no one knows. Ink and smoke, noir and flame. He writes to tame what none can name. A love too sharp, a truth too deep. Mystique Noir never sleeps. He rides alone in a room of rain. Typewriter clacks like a runaway train. Whiskey breath and a shadowed name. Every story ends with someone to blame. She leans in close with a velvet sigh. Red lips curled like a whispered lie. She's the twist he never saw coming. Amused with motives, always running. Ink and smoke, love and crime. He pens the truth, one line at a time. Hard-boiled hearts and a kiss too late. Romance and ruin sealed by fate.
Well, hello, everybody. It is the midnight hour, and I am your host, Timothy Berman, here to inspire you and encourage you. And we are kicking off what used to be National Novel Writing Month, NaNoWriMo, and it is now Novel November. And so before we get started, I have done this over the years. It's something that I look forward to every November, and the goal is to write a 50,000 word manuscript and just kind of break free of that writer's block. There is a whole community of it. The official website for NaNoWriMo, unfortunately, I found out recently that it had was shut down. However, there are those, there is ProWritingAid that actually is doing Novel November. And if you scan the QR code that I have up in the corner there, where it says ProWritingAid No, that is Novel November. And that will take you to the website. You can go to the website and you can sign up. And it's free. But ProWritingAid, I'm not getting paid for this, so but ProWritingAid is just a hub for people who write. It's one of the many things that is for the online community for us writers. And so you go there and you set up your thing and you participate in Novel November. And so my goal here is I will be doing weekly live streams on the work in progress, which is titled Lost Girls, and it is the first book of a trilogy, Lost Girls, Eden's Descent. I have the book trailer up, so check that out. And basically what I'm just going to do is just, as people come in, say hello, drop your thoughts in the live chat, and then if you want, for U.S. residents, you can scan the QR code there where it's where the logo, Mystique Noir Scribbler. If you want to just say, hey, I love this, I look forward to this, and you just want to tip me out or make a donation, that's fine. The funds that I will generate would be the funds that are generated through those donations from everybody who's in the United States. Will go towards helping me get, because this is not the only work in progress I have. I have Morning Ellen that I'm editing and rewriting, and I'm almost finished with that. I have my previous NaNoWriMo writing a work in progress, which is Don't Kiss Me Goodbye, a hard-boiled detective story, and then getting that finished up and ready for publication. And then I have Winds of Redemption that I'm in the process of finishing up and finalizing as well. Winds of Redemption is about a man journeying into alcoholism and addiction, in the throes of addiction, and he loses everything. He hits the bottom, and then slowly he comes back. It's a faith-based story of redemption. It's the prodigal son set in modern times. And then there is Dylan Largo's Redemption, which is a preacher's son turned lawman in a dystopian western of the Pacific Northwest. And so I have that as dystopian western, so think Book of Eli meets the Postman. And so yeah, and then I have this that I will be writing out for the next 30 days. I will be live streaming this on a weekly basis, share video drops on progress reports, as well as all the other writing stuff. So this is my third YouTube channel that I have strictly for creative writing, strictly for this type of avenue. My other channels is for Speculative Writing Path and Soul, where I do daily devotionals, live stream those. And then I have my other one, which is an LDS Mindful Christian Living, with regards to faith-based teaching and things like that. And so this is just my other aspect of my talent and skill set. And with that, you notice I already have this here up. And so as we get settled in, as you come in, as you join in on this, I will be doing this. The goal is to hit at least 1,600 words. So I'll show you. Let me go ahead and bring up this tab here. So this is, let me hide this real quick. I'll put that QR code up again. But this is the dashboard here. So this is where I haven't started, but the daily word goal is 1,667 words. So let's see if I can hit that tonight. My goal is that since this is going to be quite writing venture for me, getting me back into creative writing, I'm going to probably push it to at least 2,500 to 3,000. So we'll see where we're at. We'll see what's going on and where we're going with that. So let me go ahead and bring that screen back up here. And then let's go ahead and throw that QR code up for those who might be interested. And just like I said, drop your thoughts in the comment section. I have the ticker down there. So for those who join in, share your thoughts, share your insights, ask your questions, and let's get the ball rolling, because we are working on the prologue, The Flame Beyond the Veil. And so to kind of give you a little bit backstory here, this started about March 2024, so it's been over a year. And I did an AI image generation. I'll throw that up of what a potential cover looks like. Bring this up here. And give you an idea of what that looks like here. And that's not the image cover, but that's just the cover. But the image that I want to show you is going to be let me find it here. All right. And so that is the image that I had ran through AI and played the what if game. So the backstory here for this novel, and that's turning into a trilogy with a origin story and with the character arcs and everything else like that. So the backstory of this is I was playing around with the idea like most writers do, and I played the what if game. And back in the 80s, there was a very most people, one of the most favorite movies out there is The Lost Boys, and it is basically about a mom with two sons. The oldest gets caught up in a COVID of vampires and is almost turned into a vampire, and then they have a whole battle scene and everything else like that. So, good cult classic movie with a famous star. And I took the idea and said, okay, what if it was a father who had three girls? One was a teenage girl in a state of rebellion. And what happens if he's a widower and the mom has passed on? And what if we blend in some vampiresses? And then what if we blend in some Latter-day Saints or LDS or Mormon theology and belief, because that's the character's centered form of belief, and then we put it together. So that's the whole idea of this. Think of Bram Stoker's Dracula meets Dracula Untold meets The Lost Boys meets Edgar Allan Poe and all of that. So we have this. I have the So I've got the prologue up here that I kind of started working on, and so, like I said, what I'll do is I'll just go through and I will start writing. And as you come in, you drop your thoughts, you share your thoughts in the comment section, you share anything of interest or what's going on, and then we'll go from there. So don't be shy. Like I said, just drop your comments, and yeah, I will see how long I can go, because we will have fun here. So, by the way, I have, if you also notice, I have the word count here, so you can look at the word count, and the goal, let's see if we can hit at least 3,000 for the opening prologue and chapter 1 with that. And so I will look at it, ask questions, drop your thoughts in the comment section, and scan the QR codes. So I'm just pulling up my notes on my laptop. All right. Oh, here we go. All right, so I've got my notes, got my outline, and let's go. So okay, I'm gonna turn off that. That's seem to not be working. Right. So and don't crash on me now. There we go. Okay, so sorry about that, folks. Just had to do some adjustments. Where was I at? Da 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 da. So So yeah, um, so what I'm doing is I've got some notes and outlines, and I'm just kind of fleshing it out. And so yeah, so the idea here is that this opens up with her passing from mortality to the spiritual realm, the unseen realm, and she's passing from mortality and into uh immortality, so to speak, and she's entering into the divine council, the throne of glory, the throne of heaven, the celestial kingdom of God, where God resides and the Savior resides. And so what I'm doing here is I'm using the framework of the hero's journey, and it's being parsed out with the 3-act structure of storytelling. And so it's setting the stage because she's going to play an important role in this plot structure. She's going to play an important role in the construct of this role of view, because this is gothic, supernatural, faith-based, and there's going to be a final spiritual battle between um, Eliza, the mother, and Eden, the oldest daughter, and the matriarch Isadora, and they'll be introduced here. In fact, I've got their character arcs already noted, so I'm just basically fleshing this idea out. And so, like I said, just drop your thoughts in the comment as you come in, share your thoughts, ask your questions, and um, we can have a discussion about what this is and what this is about, and basically just kind of show you guys how I put together how my creative mind works. And so, like I said, don't be shy. Drop your thoughts. I'm streaming to Facebook. I'm streaming to YouTube, Mystique Noir Scribbler on YouTube, and I'm streaming to X. So go ahead and give this a like, share, and subscribe to the Mystique Noir Scribbler YouTube channel. And so that's where we are and what we are doing. So let me go ahead and do this. Okay, that's so here I'm blending scripture. So if you notice, if you come up, so let me kind of go up here. I'm blending scripture in with this, and and so it opens up with a passage in Revelations 3:12. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, which is the new Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name. So that's where the scene is. So the scene moves from her passing away into coming into this heavenly realm, the celestial realm of that, where she is basically becoming a pillar of fire in that respect. And so that's the backdrop of this whole scene that I'm putting together here for that. So in this is the divine council within this pericope, within this narrative. And so that's what we're seeing is that we're seeing her being transformed into uh, a her spirit is being transformed into this light, this divine essence, so to speak, if you want to use that for lack of better words and phraseology. And then so yeah, so it's kind of blending a lot of the motifs and the symbolisms of when it's trying John the Revelator is trying to describe the heavenly realm, the celestial realm. This is where a lot of this idea is being pulled from, and so you have that nuance here. um So yeah, like I said, any thoughts, drop your thoughts in the comment section. And I'm just, going through and like I said, just fleshing this out. This is a draft, so and we'll see how far it goes. Right. Like I said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'm going to be here until I hit my goal of at least 3,000 words for tonight, and we'll see where we're at. We'll see how I'm progressing and what's happening. And so, okay. And I'm trying not to get too distracted because I got to focus on this. But like I said, every once in a while I'll pause, I'll take a break. Like I said, if you want to ask your questions, if you want to share your thoughts on this, scan the QR codes. The first one up in the corner is going to be taking you to the ProWritingAid, where you can participate in this if you want. It's not too late to do that. And then the other one is the QR code with the logo for Mystique Noir Scribbler, where if you want to just just tip me out or send a donation, that would be great. No big deal if you don't want to. There's no pressure to do that. This is just a way to just say, hey, I appreciate this and I want to be able to support you, so to speak. So, yeah, go ahead. Let's take a look at what is going on here. And like I said, I'm open, I'm receptive. And if you have any thoughts, if you have any questions, and I'll take some time out to address them and answer those questions. And so let's look at here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take a pause here. I'm going to grab some drink. And getting comfortable here. So, um, let's see what's going on with my phone. Boom, boom. All right. So, all right. We'll have to adjust. So, and I know it's probably late. There's not a whole lot of you probably up watching this, and but yeah, like I said, if you're watching on X, Facebook, or YouTube, go ahead and drop your thoughts, your questions in the comment section. What do you think? Is there something that you have a question about regarding this? Um, and but yeah, we're going through this. I'm taking a break, and we'll see how. And do this. Here we go. I'm just going to go ahead. So, like I said, drop your thoughts. And we're going to do that. Okay. So we'll have to, let me do some adjustments here. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. All right. So there we go. So I'm just going to go ahead, if you want to drop your thoughts in the comment section in the live. And there we go. So All right. So that way we have that. Okay. Where was the all right. All right. So, I probably need to get up and stretch here. So, yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, go ahead and drop them. And we'll see where we're at. But so yeah, so this is just kind of interesting that they're having this dialogue, and uh this is where creativity comes into play for me. It's just imagining what this may be like when we pass from this life into the next. And so this is just, speculative. This is not to be deemed as what I actually believe. This is just a creative license of what it may potentially be like for us when we pass from this life into the next. So, you got to keep in mind, this is fiction. This is not anything to sow disrespect or dishonor. It's just a way to just kind of maybe share the hope that what this is all about is the hope of when we stand before our Savior, that this may be exactly what might be envisioned for some of us. And so it's just interesting that I'm putting this together and going through this and looking at this. So like I said, don't be afraid to drop your thoughts in the comment section, the live chat, ask your questions, share your thoughts. And yeah, I don't know if anybody else is awake. But yeah, let's hop on. Let's do that. And keep track. And so, but let me bring this up. That way you guys can see it. And I'll be mindful. I'll kind of watch this so that you can just kind of see how this is put together and everything. But yeah, don't be afraid to ask your questions. We'll probably take a intermission here and just stretch and get resituated and that. And so let's just take a moment to breathe. I'm going to take a 5-minute break. So we'll just do a 5-minute break right here, and then we'll get back to it. Okay.
He rides alone in a room of rain. Typewriter clacks like a runaway train. Whiskey breath and a shadowed name. Every story ends with someone to blame. She leans in close with a velvet sigh. Red lips curled like a whispered lie. She's the twist he never saw coming. A muse with motives always running. Ink and smoke, love and crime. He pens the truth, one line at a time. Hard-boiled hearts and a kiss too late. Romance and ruin sealed by fate. His alter ego wears a darker coat. Talks in riddles, leaves no note. He's the voice behind the plot's descent, the ghostwriter of his own lament. She's not real, or maybe she is a femme fatale in a world gone fizz. She sings in dreams, she bleeds in prose, and every chapter ends where no one knows. Ink and smoke, noir and flame. He writes to tame what none can name. A love too sharp, a truth too deep. Mystique Noir never sleeps. His alter ego wears a darker coat, talks in riddles, leaves no note. He's the voice behind the plot's descent, the ghostwriter of his own lament. She's not real, or maybe she is, a femme fatale in a world gone fizz. She sings in dreams, she bleeds in prose, and every chapter ends where no one knows. Ink and smoke, noir and flame. He writes to tame what none can name. A love too sharp, a truth too deep. Mystique Noir never sleeps. He writes alone in a room of rain. Typewriter clacks like a runaway train. Whiskey breath and a shadowed name. Every story ends with someone to blame. She leans in close with a velvet sigh. Red lips curled like a whispered lie. She's the twist he never saw coming. A muse with motives always running. Ink and smoke, love and crime. He pens the truth, one line at a time. Hard-boiled hearts and a kiss too late. Romance and ruin sealed by fate.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So, just to kind of recap here. So, I am sitting at 971 words, and so okay, pretty good start. And we are doing the prologue. So we're working on the prologue. The prologue here is titled "The Flame Beyond the Veil." Maybe I should throw that up on the go up here on that. So yeah, the veil. I can't talk. The flame beyond the veil. And so this is the prologue. This is just given the although what I am doing here, just to kind of give you an idea, is that we have the first act of the prologue, which is the threshold of death. I might just actually pull that up here. And just put that in here where it says, so I'll put that here, and we'll do this. Just so I can keep track. I don't know if I'm going to actually keep these in the text itself, but I'm going to put that there, and we'll just go bold here. So so this is just to help me keep track of where we're at. Act within the prologue here is the threshold of death. So she's passing from mortality into mortality, passing from mortality into the heavenly realm, she's entering into the throne of that, and there's that veil that she passes through with that. So there's that sense of idea, and then we have, let me go up here and see. Yeah, so right here is the transitioning of the second act. And so the second act is the we're going to give it the name, the Divine Council, with that. And we're going to do that and do that. Update the heading. Okay. So we're on the second act here. So this is the Divine Council, the second act, and then we're going to get into the third act. So the third act is actually going to be moving into where the descent, because she is commissioned and she's sent back. Not sent back into mortality, but she's sent back as a guardian with that. So and then I'm trying to. Sorry, I'm working two different mouses. Mises. I'm working with two different mice because of the computer setup here. So I have my notes on my laptop, and then I have So let's see here. All right. So, okay. All right. So the descent. Okay. So the descent is going to be. All right. Okay. So let's bring this back up and all right, there we go. So you notice I'm kind of putting in a little bit of a frame of reference here for a bit of scripture citation. Let me do this. All right. Oop. Oh, yeah, there we go. So I'm just looking up some information Ba-ba-da-da-da-da-da. So yeah, so like I said, just go ahead and drop your questions, say hello, where you're watching from. All right. So yeah. So all right. Moving forward. There's a moment of silence there. There's a moment of silence. So yeah, what are your thoughts? And like I said, just go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments section. Take a look at what's going on. Uh, you know, and share with me. And like I said, I will ask questions because this is, I'm not just going to be here typing all this out and then just sitting in silence. I want this to be very interactive for you guys. So, like I said, if you're watching on X, go ahead and drop your thoughts, questions, comments in the live chat. If you're watching on Facebook, drop it in the comment section. And if you're watching, of course, on YouTube, go ahead and drop it in the live chat there. And so let's go ahead and get back to this. This is where we are at. So we're getting ready to get into the third act of the prologue. It is the descent. So let's go ahead and keep with this. So, I gotta adjust my microphone again. Here we go. All right. So here we go. We're gonna move this up. The downside is I need a all right. She was no longer I already said that. All right. So this is where we're going to get into Act 3. Act 3 is the descent. So and then it's in this act where, well, you'll see. All right. You know what? Actually, I'm going to put that before the descent because that's going to go right here. And we'll just move that right there. And then we'll see here. And then we'll do this. All right. So this is where I want to be introducing the daughter. So this is the oldest daughter. The oldest daughter, I have her story arc already. Let me go ahead and pull this up here. So I'm pulling up the notes, and like I said, drop your thoughts in the comment section. Share your thoughts. Um, Too many screens open. So yeah. So yeah, if you're watching, just go ahead. Like I said, give a shout out. Let me know that you're there. Let me know that you're watching, where you're watching from. And like I said, if you want to go ahead and ask questions, you are more than welcome to. And like I said, the QR code is up in the corner to get you connected to the ProWritingAid website, where it's the novel November that everybody's participating in, and which uh, I'm not sure if it's replaced NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, but that's when whatever happened to the website and all that, people wanted to keep doing this. So, and then, like I said, if you want to just say, hey, I like this, I like what you're doing, here's a tip, or if you just want to say, hey, this is cool, only U.S. residents are able to use the QR code that is attached to the PayPal link. And this just goes to the idea here is for me to go ahead and use whatever funds to help offset the cost for publishing not just this work, but the other works in progress that I have, that I mentioned earlier. And so right here, I'm going to kind of show you how I put all this together. So this is my notes right here. So I have the notes and these. So let me go ahead and just kind of move that out of the way here, so that way we can get a better and then let's switch this over to there. So, okay. So this is the AI image for possibly the book cover that I have for Lost Girls. Lost Girls, Blood of the Veil, and related works. So that's just going to be a disclaimer I'm going to put in each one. There is the logo. I don't know why I have the logos in there. Structure for, I don't know why I have that. Okay, so this is this is what I've got planned out here. So this turned in from one book idea to a trilogy idea. So the trilogy idea is so the first book, which I'm writing right now, is called Eden's Descent. The theme of this is going to be rebellion, seduction, spiritual warfare. The plot focus is that Eden's moved to Shelton, Washington, my hometown that I grew up in. Hello, everybody. Her entanglement with the vampirous order and the awakening of the ancient forces, Sword of Laban, 3 Nephites. It's gothic in tone, seductive, it's mysterious. The climax is that Eden's soul teeters between darkness and redemption as the vampirous coven prepares a ritual that could bind her forever. And then the book 2 is going to be the Blood Covenant, and then book 3 is going to be the Lost Girls. So I don't know. It would be awesome if I can actually get all 3 written out in rough draft within the next 30 days. But that would be about, it's estimating to be about 95 to 110,000 words. So let's say 100,000 words. So that's going to be 300,000. So that's going to be 400,000 words total for a first draft of a trilogy. But hey, wait, there's more, right? But Lost Girls book 2 is basically Blood Covenant, Identity, Legacy, Spiritual Reckoning. The plot focus here is that Eden's transformation, the rise of internal conflict among the vampiresses, and the deeper unveiling of the ancient order's origins. It's a little bit more darker, it's more mythical, it's more emotionally intense, and the climax is that there is a covenant made. Either Eden becomes the vessel for redemption or the key to unleashing a greater darkness. So it's pitting the light and darkness motif here. And then the faith element here is that Eden begins to understand her divine heritage and the spiritual cost of her choices. And so she's on that teetering of between the natural realm and the unseen realm. And then book 3, Lost Girls Redemption's Reckoning, is about restoration, sacrifice, divine justice, the final battle between light and darkness, Eden's family legacy is revealed, and the convergence of mythic forces. The tone is epic, redemptive, cinematic. The climax is that Eden must choose between ultimate sacrifice or eternal damnation. Her decision will ripple across generations. And there is the faith element, where it's full manifestation of the 3 Nephites, the sword of Laban's true power, and Eden's role in a prophetic restoration for her family. And so book 1's temptation and ascent, book 2 is transformation and reckoning, and book 3 is redemption and legacy. So all of this, the cliffhanger strategy for book 1, Lost Girls, Eden's Descent, final scene, return with the elixir. I don't know why I have all that in there. That's weird. Okay, I have to go through because somehow all that got messed up. I don't know why, but I'll have to go in and mess with that. So that's just too hard to read. But anyways, these are the notes. So this is the notes, the trilogy cliffhangers, the True Queen is rising. The Blood Covenant is that. And so this is all together with the help of AI. So I wrote it out, my ideas and my thoughts, and then used AI to just kind of help cinch it up a little bit there, tighten it up a little bit for a more structured format. So yeah. So now this is the origin stories that I'm going to plan out later on. So it's going to be one book, six-part mythic anthology. So it's going to talk about the origins of the vampiresses. It's going to begin with the most ancient of them, the queen, the fallen seraph of the first veil, the matriarch, which is Isadora, the Velia the seer, Thessaly the bloodright, Nera the hollow, and Selene the flame. And then I have Eliza Hill's origin story. And then I'm going to have the father. Now, the father is going to be Zadkiel. So kind of an interesting name for that. You see, I have the hero's journey work, the structure for the 3-act for that. And we get down into, so that's all plotted out and everything. So the Lost Girls, the thematic motif, faith versus fear, fatherhood as priesthood, female power, legacy, covenant versus curse, chapter outlines, and the character arc. So the character arcs I have here is basically the rebellious teen daughter. She's starting angry, spiritually darkness, reduced by ancient powers, tempted to forsake her family and faith. Climax is confronts her mother in a celestial realm, chooses love over power, becomes a spiritual warrior, scarred but redeemed, begins mentoring her sisters. You have Hope and preteen, and then Mercy. Actually, Mercy, we're changing Mercy's name. And Mercy is actually going to be Charity. And then the father, who's Zadkiel, and then we have some notes on chapter 1. And then the genre classification is supernatural literary fiction, gothic horror, spiritual warfare, mythic fantasy, psychological drama, theological allegory. Speculative fiction in the LDS genre, dark fantasy, paranormal thriller, family saga. So this is like, so kind of gives you some of the literary aspects to it. Would be like the historian Kostovo, Interview with the Vampire, Rise and the Witching Hour. However, it does have a theological spine and Tolstoyan emotional gravity. So blending some literary elements in here, or literary styles from Edgar Allan Poe, Leo Tolstoy, some Steinbeck is showing up in there, and then some, modern Laura K. Hamilton, things like that. The story arcs of those, Eliza's story arc, and so yeah, this is all. So this is the note that we're working on. So we have the prologue outline for Act 1, inciting vision, the divine interpretation and commission, and the descent, resolution, and foreshadowing. She descends not to rest, but to watch. Her first vision is of Eden curled on her bed. And that's the part where we're at right now. So this is where we're at in this outline. So drop your thoughts with that. And you notice here that, this is just notes to myself. Steinbeck, Tolstoy's ground the divine in human detail, robes, smells, textures, family memory. Poe, Rice, make the supernatural tactile, shadows, whispers, pulsing light, sensual awe. Hamilton, Gardner, Jackson, keep tension alive. Eliza's commissioning isn't just glory, it's a burden, a mission, a danger. Tolkien, Rowling, Jordan, elevate the council scenes with mythic cadence, ritual dialogue, and a sense of eternal stakes. And then flowing it into chapter 1. So this is chapter 1's outline. So there we're going to get at, and hopefully this is where we're going to end into the chapter 1. So that is what we have plotted out. Like I said, drop your thoughts in the comment section. What are your thoughts? How is this helping you if you are actually taking on this writing challenge, and what is going on with that? And yeah, so don't be afraid. And so we're going on Eden's Descent now. So Eden's Descent, and we're going to pick up with this third act of it. Oh, what happened here? Okay, so we need to. That's weird. Okay. Oh, if you're wondering why I'm using Google Docs and not Word, because Google Docs, as much as I like Word, Google Docs is just kind of the simpler version of what Word used to be. And so I'm just putting that in there, and we're just making sure that we have the spacing. There we go. Okay, so we have the spacing because that's important. Okay, so All right. So yeah, if you have any thoughts, drop them in the comments in the live chat. What are your takeaways? How are you doing? And I know right now there's probably not a whole lot of people uh up like I am. So, but like I said, that's all right. Just hopefully you are able to come in and share your thoughts in the comment section and ask your questions. And just as a reminder, I am streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and X. And wish I could stream to TikTok because I think this would be cool on TikTok as well. But hey, that's all right. No problems there. Okay, so we're coming up with this. We're on that. Okay, so where am I at? Got a bit distracted there. Uh okay. There we go. All right, come on. I'm waiting for my computer to catch up here. There we go. Da, 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 da. All right, so I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place here. So it's just when you start typing out and then it's like, oh, I got to have this too. And I got to go in and do this and da 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 da. And plus, I'm making sure I'm following the structure of my notes that I already have laid out for this. But we're going to be coming up here for another break and intermission. And by the way, this is the first time I'm doing this on my new YouTube channel where I'm actually doing intermissions. And for those of you who are just now tuning in or coming in and watching this, my goal is to get to at least 3,000 words. So my goal is to actually hit a minimum of 1,667 words, but I want to be able to stretch this into at least 3,000 or get to close to 3,000 as I can. So, but like I said, go ahead and check out ProWritingAid Novel November by scanning the QR code there, and that will take you to that. This is something that everybody does. So if you're interested in writing, I'm not getting anything from them, so this is just me plugging it in as a source for you guys. And then if you want to, like I said, you can scan the QR code with the logo for U.S. residents, where you can make a donation or tip me out on PayPal. And like I said, that just goes to help towards the cost of getting this work and many other works published. Like I said, this is number 4 that are starting. I'm finishing up 2, working on drafting 1, and then this is going to be another draft. So, and on top of that, I do other content, digital content creation for my other YouTube channel for Sacred Sobriety Path for the Soul, as well as my other channel for Latter-day Saint Mindful Christian Living and Apologetics. And so, yeah, this is where I thrive, folks. This is where I thrive. This is my hobby. This is my time. This is my thing that keeps me sanity and keeps me grounded for that. So, like I said, just go ahead and drop your questions. I'm going to go ahead and take a break. I will be here, but my mute gets muted when I do this. However, I will see you in the live chat and answer questions while we are having our intermission here. So bear with me, and I'll be right back.
He rides alone in a room of rain. Typewriter clacks like a runaway train. Whiskey breath and a shadowed name. Every story ends with someone to blame. She leans in close with a velvet sigh. Red lips curled like a whispered lie. She's the twist he never saw coming. A muse with motives always running. Ink and smoke, love and crime. He pens the truth, one line at a time. Hard-boiled hearts and a kiss too late. Romance and ruin sealed by fate. His alter ego wears a darker coat. Talks in riddles, leaves no note. He's the voice behind the plot's descent, the ghostwriter of his own lament. She's not real, or maybe she is a femme fatale in a world gone fizz. She sings in dreams, she bleeds in prose, and every chapter ends where no one knows. Ink and smoke, noir and flame. He writes to tame what none can name. A love too sharp, a truth too deep. Mystique Noir never sleeps. sleeps. His alter ego wears a darker coat, talks in riddles, leaves no note. He's the voice behind the plot's descent, the ghostwriter of his own lament. She's not real, or maybe she is, a femme fatale in a world gone fizz. She sings in dreams, she bleeds in prose, and every chapter ends where no one knows. Ink and smoke, noir and flame. He writes to tame what none can name. A love too sharp, a truth too deep. Mystique Noir never sleeps. He rides alone in a room of rain. Typewriter clacks like a runaway train. Whiskey breath and a shadowed name. Every story ends with someone to blame. She leans in close with a velvet sigh. Red lips curled like a whispered lie. She's the twist he never saw coming. A muse with motives always running. Ink and smoke, love and crime. He pens the truth, one line at a time. Hard-boiled hearts and a kiss too late. Romance and ruin sealed by fate.
Hey everybody, welcome back. So yes, we are back from the intermission. So hopefully you're all settled in. And again, I know it's late night, but I'm old school having this done. I'm just posting in on the website for ProWritingAid's novel November. And so yeah. So there we go. And we're doing that. And I'm just kind of going through and joining some of the writing circles here. But here we go. So yeah, I'm just kind of putting some notes in here. So and yeah, that is pretty active there. So all right. So literary fiction, women's fiction, romance, science fiction, fantasy, historical fiction, mystery, and thriller. I'll go in and do the rest of that later on. So any questions from you guys? I just kind of want to take a break and see who's all here, who's all watching. Like I said, drop action, share what you're doing, how you're doing, hit that like, share, subscribe. And this is just kind of behind the scenes of what I'm working on and what this all entails for this. And so looking forward to hearing your comments, hearing your understanding, and asking questions and having conversations with you. And so most of you are probably going to wake up tomorrow morning and say, what did Tim just do? But hopefully it's not coming as a surprise to many people. So yes, check this out. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Um, so, but yeah. Okay. Let's get back to it. So where do we live? Okay. Um, so we're still in Eden's Descent and we're focusing on that. And let's see here. Boom, boom. Okay. That's what I needed to do. Okay. Do. All right. Okay. So So yeah, like I said, any thoughts, any comments? Not couch, dummy. I'm talking to myself. Was hey Autumn, how are ya? Thanks for joining. So, like I said, if you have any questions, ask. If you have any comments, share. I'm just gonna just kind of do a little bit of spurts of writing and then just get back to it. And um, I'm just finishing up the third act of this prologue here, and and kind of just correcting as I go. So. Bum, bum, bum. But yeah, so where's my current? There it is. Okay. I don't know why. Come on. Okay, let's do this. There we go. So we're still in the third act here for that. So we are at 1,482. So we're almost hitting the minimum challenge of 1,667 words. So we'll see how this plays out. One of my challenges is dialogue, because I can get descriptions down pretty good, um, and flesh script, but when it comes to dialogue, I think that's my weakness. There is the whole dialogue aspect, because a lot of times, it's like when I read books, it's like it's got a very dynamic flow of nuances, dialogue, in the dynamics within that structure. But it just seems that when I look at my dialogues over all the things that I write, that's, I think, where I spend most of my time trying to hyper focused on just getting it right and perfect, because I want it to. It just seems to be flat to me, and it doesn't seem anything I do kind of breathes life into the dialogue of that. And so that's my challenge. That's my sticking point right there, is coming to write dialogue and how that is expressed, and not and hoping it doesn't come over flat. I know this is a draft, so I'm not too worried about it right now. But when I get into actually editing this uh, and going through that process, once it's done, then that's where I get tripped up with the dialogue. But this is where we're at. We're in the dialogue with the daughter, and then her father. Her father, Zadokil. So that's a very interesting name that I chosen for the father. I didn't go with a traditional name. I can't. I don't know what possessed me to do this with that, and name the father. This is a very obscure, weird name. However, it is for me, names actually have an attached meaning and purpose to that, and you'll see as I go through and uh, write this out with regards to that. Is There's specificity in the names that actually have a nuanced meaning to that. So here we are. We're finishing up Act 3. This is where we are now in the real world. We're in the natural world. So we went from the natural world of Eliza's death, her being transfigured into the celestial realm, the spiritual realm, after death, and so that crossing the threshold, crossing the veil, uh, coming into the divine council, celestial uh, glory with the throne of God, the throne of the apostles, the throne of the divine councils, and all those who have passed on before. And now, and then her and all that scene, and now we're getting back into the real world. We're getting back into the natural world for that. So this is kind of an interesting way of for me to kind of just develop just the prologue alone. And so kind of doing this, and we're getting into um So initially, the three daughters' names here in this storyline, the novel I'm writing for Lost Girls, you have Eden, the oldest, the rebellious. You have Hope, um, and then originally the youngest daughter was going to be Mercy, and I'm talking to my youngest daughter about this because she's developed a passion for writing. She wants to become a writer, and so I'm kind of helping her, mentoring her in this aspect, um and she mentioned that Mercy just doesn't feel right. And my youngest daughter is a teenager. Um, and so I kind of looked at that. It's like, yeah, okay. And so I was either playing around with renaming the youngest daughter Grace or Charity. And I chose Charity for the youngest daughter because I think, like I said, these names have symbolic meaning. They're not just the names of the character. It's like there's meaning behind it. So Eden, it hails to the Garden of Eden, since I'm using a lot of scripture and faith-based symbolism and things like that. So we have Eden, and we think of Eden, we think of paradise, and we think of loss of paradise. So this is the story arc with that. So like I said, you have Eden, so you have the fall, you have the seduction, and so it's perfect with Eden how that is being played out. And then we have hope, because hope is basically, you have faith, hope, and charity. And above all, charity is the most significant one. So you have hope, because hope is what gives us light. It gives us understanding. And then we have charity, which is love. Charity is love. It is the essence of love. It is the pure love, and it is the compassion, the empathy, and things like that. So it's interesting to see how these names evolve and develop into these character archetypes and symbolism for that. And so let me go ahead and see. Yeah. And then, I mean, I don't know. I might end up changing the father's name, but I think Zadokil is really uh, a good fit for this type of story that I'm writing and developing. All right. So there we go. um, And yeah, like I said, just drop your thoughts in the comments, share your thoughts, what's going on, how, what are you working on if you are participating in this 30-day rush to type out a 50,000 word manuscript for a possible novel. Um, and so So we are, well, we are over the threshold there, folks. So, I might just finish out the prologue. Let's see, where are we at with the prologue? So we've got. So yeah, I am going to finish out the prologue, and then I'm just going to call it the night. So I've already reached the threshold. Let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and share this tab. This is the. Let me pull this out of the way here. And so you go in here and you can log your progress here, and I'm going to log in. Oh, wrong one. I'm going to log in 1,685 words. And I'm going to go 1,685 words. So I'm going to just put that in there. Yay, I got 2 new badges. All right. So let's view what are the badges. You badge first session complete, earned your first tracking badge. So let's go ahead and share this on my Facebook page. So I'm going to do this. And I'm just going to say accomplished 1,685 words. Will finish out the third act of the prologue and then call it a night. So we're going to post that. And then, all right. And then what was the other one? It said something. Oh, okay. I'm going to share it here. I'm going to go on X and just drop this in here. Boom, boom, boom. Do. All right. Oh, I'm just trying to get the posting. All right, there we go. So we've got that. And all right. So let's view the next badge. You've earned a new badge. So 1,600. So you hit your first. Okay. So that one is there. So this kind of tracks your progress right here. I don't know if I want to put in okay, yeah, let's go ahead and continue. We're going to go ahead and get back to that. So we're at the last part of this here. And let's go ahead and pull up so there we go. We've got that up for you guys for the QR code, just if you want to go ahead and do that. And my cursor keeps disappearing on me. There we go. So I'm pulling up the chat. And we are the walk to the church. Okay, so the walk to the church is going to be the last part of this. Da-doom, doom, doo-doo, bump, bump. I don't know why it keeps doing this when I keep wanting to say double space it. There we go. Okay. Okay. And let's do this here. So, So yeah, we are. I think I am. I'm trying to see where I'm at. So got a couple more paragraphs, and then I am going to be done here, and I'm going to be calling it good. I was maybe looking at getting the first chapter, unless you guys want me to keep going. It's entirely up to you. So give a shout out, say hi, share where you're watching from, and yeah. So we have this. We're going to finish this up. So um so all right, so there is that. So what does that? That's 2020. So 2020 2020 words. Can I push it to another 980 words? What are your thoughts? Should I go for the goal? Should I go for it? Go and hit the 3,000 mark, or call it a night? What are your thoughts? Uh, I know there's not a lot of you watching, but drop your thoughts in the comment section. By the way, if you're watching this after the live stream, just go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section. What are your takeaways? What are your thoughts? What is your work of fiction? And go ahead, like I said, hit that like, share, and subscribe. It is now, what time is it? 2:35. Pacific Standard Time. I started this at midnight, so we've been going so I think this is a good place to stop. We're 2.5 hours. So yeah, I think it's a good place to stop. So I will be watch me on X, watch at Seattle Ghost, watch me on Mystique Noir Scribbler on YouTube, and then of course my Facebook page. I will be keeping up to date. I will do weekly live sessions like this, but probably not at midnight, but this was just to kick this off. And so I will plan out strategically when to do the next live stream, but it will be next week. So I'll probably do this at the end of the week. Most likely I will probably do it more on Sunday. So that way we can then just have that Sunday afternoon, depending on what I have going on. And so that won't happen until not tomorrow Sunday, but the following Sunday after that. So I will keep you apprised. I will keep you informed. And thanks for tuning in for those of you who did. And like I said, this is right now a small channel. So this is where I'm just going to drop all of my creative energies into with regards to the short stories, poetry, and the works in progress that I have. So be watching on updates on those other works of progresses that I'm doing too as well. And hopefully you get some rest. And if you are writing, stay the course. Sometimes it gets frustrating, but keep practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. And so the more we are disciplined in doing this, the better off we are. So final count is 2020 words. So let me go ahead and go into the update here. We're going to update this to 2020. And let me go ahead and share this so you guys can see what this looks like. We're going to, and daily word goal is 1,000. Average daily words 3,705. No. So, well, okay. Yeah. That was yeah, let me go ahead and edit. Nope. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that you can edit. So there we go. We're going to edit that. We're going to go 2020. Found it. There we go. Much better. Okay, so we got 47,980 words to go, and we have 30 days to do that in. And thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for watching, and enjoy this trailer that I put together. And until next time, have a great morning and be blessed.
No daughter is lost, but the veil grows thin where the shadows cross. 3 lights walk where the faithful fall, and the sword still waits for the final call.